Hey folks, Steve here. How you doing? I was getting this video around. It's an electrical job that I was on a little while ago and realized that I had never really shot a proper intro saying, hey, this is what I'm doing, so this is what I'm doing. And it's a circuit, basically. I'm installing a circuit from scratch at a house that we actually did some work on some time ago. And they called me back in, which is always nice to get a call back, right? So this video pretty much is just going through that workflow, going through that process. A lot of the videos at 3, 4, or 5x. And I'll try, I believe, I haven't shot it yet, but I believe I'll do a lot of voiceover. And just as things are happening, if there's anything that I should chime in on. Otherwise, I'll just have some music going and enjoy the workflow as much as anything else with whatever commentary I come up with. And then I'll be at the end of the video to say bye. Okay? Hope you enjoy it. Here I am in the basement, and I'm just gaining access to their panel, so I'm moving just what I need to move, and I'll put it back when I'm done. First thing I'm going to have to do, even though I've looked at their panel before, I have to verify that I can repurpose their old doorbell circuit as the dedicated receptacle circuit for their exercise equipment in their garage, and indeed I found exactly that. They have a doorbell that goes nowhere, so I was able to disconnect, leave the transformer and hardware there, but actually take the breaker out, swap it from a 15 to a 20 amp. Here's how I'm accessing underneath in their crawl space so I can actually get the wire through into their garage, and then of course feed it back to that panel. I had already drilled a pilot hole just to make sure that I could locate and know exactly where I wanted to go with my circuit. This hole turned out to be pointless. I figured I could drill straight through, but it turns out that it's a double plate with drywall, and based on the steps and how you get into the house, I anticipate that I had a cavity behind there, and I did not. So when I hit that drywall, I got concerned, so I pulled back and I went ahead and got that pilot bit out just to make sure that I was actually where I was, and I knew that I needed to go up higher, and so I did. Most of the time I work on my own, so I've figured out a way, like most of us, to make it all happen when you have to almost be in two places at the same time. Building that reel was one of them. Some years ago, I had worked with a buddy, and he had built his own reel system for rolling out electrical. And so I just essentially copied what he did. I put a floor in mine. That way I could actually put garbage, debris, or extra parts and just have a way to kind of carry them around a little bit. And his was open. But otherwise, that reel has just worked out fantastic. Just making sure that the wire gets fed through and up and over everything, because it's an obstacle course down there to get the wire to actually set correctly. So it's not under when you should have put it over something. Always just a little more careful when you're feeding wire, especially a bare copper wire, into a live panel. So I just want to make sure that the wires are going in the direction that I intend them to go. Of course, I want to resecure those so I don't have any movement in any locations that I'm not expecting. So that'll just secure the wire down, of course, with the strain relief. Checking the length of the neutral and the ground at this point, of course, getting ready to tie into the ground neutral bar. And it was easiest, and fortunately I had places open high up on the panel as opposed to sticking really close to where that breaker actually installs. And because the circuit is going into a garage, there is no need for an arc fault. The outlet itself will be GFI just because it's in a garage. That's me just nutting off where the doorbell circuit was, and I'll leave those wires there in case they ever want to expand that. Tidying up my wires. Yeah, and I do love that cordless electrical stapler. It's kind of fun to say. And because I was able to put in a double gang, I actually will just go ahead and tie my GFI receptacle to a standard receptacle, and I'll backwire both of them. Well, I will not use those holes for backwiring. I'll actually just backwire them because that's the kind of, or I guess it's side wiring, but it has those screw plates that you can actually just secure your contacts to. Doing a lot of electrical work, I have become a big fan of needle nose pliers for a long time now. Just with the reach and the thinness, of course, of the actual the jaws, it's they're just really effective. I certainly use certainly my strippers there. I have a pair of linesmans that I use quite a bit, especially for twisting wires. I had left my linesmans down in the basement, and I was unwilling to go get them in a moment, just for the one set of wires I have to put together. No matter whether they're going into plastic or metal, I almost always use electrical tape, and that's just me nodding to the next electrician that comes through, or maybe me if I have to do anything. And if I have to pull it out live, I want to make sure that I can control what contacts what. I would normally use linesmans there, but again, they were just out of reach. that short tester that I just plugged in is an older tester, and actually one of the light bulbs is just kind of finicky. So I believe after this job I just went in and tossed it, and I'm exclusively using this tester now, which also is a contactless tester for just circuit. And it can trip the GFI. Updating their panel list. It's the one on the door is actually out of date, so we have this piece of paper there, and our electrical inspector was actually cool with that. I was surprised, but I know that you can get replacement stickers to put inside your panel doors, and at some point if I go back, I'll go ahead and grab one for them as a courtesy. And I do clean up, even in places that they will never visit. I clean up. And of course I'll put their stuff back. At this point I'm a very expensive furniture mover and I'm okay with that. Putting that back. They have dogs and cats and they try and keep, well, I think the cats can easily get back there, but the dogs can't. And of course this is what the homeowner sees, but they don't understand. It took a bunch of hours to get there, a bunch of tools, some materials. These are the hand tools that I ended up using today. I think this is pretty much everything. So hammer for a couple of staples, wire strippers, linesmans, insulated number 2 square screwdriver, needle nose pliers, my level, regular 4, 6 in 1, whatever that is for the screwdriver, pencil, headlamp, and some screws, staples, electrical tape. Along with all these hand tools, most of them came out of my electrical belt, so I had everything that I needed. Oh, I also did use that tape measure. So everything will go back in there more or less, and then I can start cleaning up. So for power tools, everything that I brought with me is right here: cordless vac, driver, multi-tool, drill, 2 flashlights, and a cordless electrical stapler. Other tools I brought: a Forstner kit with an extension, I believe that's 6-inch. I brought a selection of spade bits, also of course all the electrical parts. This is what's left over. And I brought a locator bit. Today I used 12-2 to make that circuit happen. I have 1,000 feet there, less whatever I've used over the past couple of jobs. And that's on a spool that I made, and that spool is on casters so I can move it around. And I do have a bottom to it so I can throw things like breakers or garbage or whatever I want to down in that cavity and then just clean it out as needed. All right, folks, we're at the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. A little bit of workflow, a little bit of electrical process, I guess, a little bit of problem solving along the way. Well, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you would, like and subscribe wherever, and thanks for sticking with me. You all take care, whatever you're doing. I hope you have a good one. See you in the next video.